What's up, you guys? Teddy Striker here, and UFC 309 is this weekend. In this video, I'm gonna give you guys my predictions for the UFC 309 main card, and my prediction for the main event, Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic, is gonna be releasing tomorrow. So make sure you guys go check that out tomorrow. But as for this video, let's get right into it. And the first fight on the main card is gonna be Mauricio Ruffy versus James Yontop, and I think that Ruffy is going to win this fight. I think he is a very, very good fighter. He's got great distance management on the feet. He's able to really just go out there and be very creative in his striking style. He took down Jamie Mullarkey with, I believe it was like a scissor sweep. It was very impressive. Like, he did it from quite a bit of distance out. So he is an athletic fighter, but he's also very technically sound. He does have some good precision to his shots and good timing too. And I think that in this fight, James Yontop he just leaves a lot of openings on the feet. He does have some pretty good boxing. Like, his jab is good, his cross is good, but when it gets to those loopy shots, I feel like he leaves himself pretty open to get countered, and his kicks aren't really the fastest. So I feel like he is gonna get counter struck in this fight, and he's gonna get dropped by like a pull counter or like a slip counter or something like that. And then he's going to get TKO'd in the first round. He was getting countered quite a bit in his last fight. And yeah, he's a solid fighter, James Yontop, but I think that unfortunately after this fight, he is going to get cut by the UFC. But I think that he is a fighter that can actually make his way back to the UFC. He's like 25 years old, so I think he should be able to come back. But for Ruffy, I think that after this fight, you should give him a guy like maybe a Jared Gordon or an Alexander Hernandez. I think that those will be some good matchups for him in the future. But in this one, I got Mauricio Ruffy winning by first round TKO. Then we got Viviane Araújo versus Karine Silva, and I got Karine Silva winning this by decision. I think that she's young, she's in her prime, she's got some momentum on her side, whereas Viviane Araújo, she's a bit of a 500 fighter. Like, she'll win a fight, then she'll drop a fight, then she'll win, then she'll drop a fight. And Araújo is getting to the end of her career, and I think she's going to get outworked in this fight. And Karine Silva is pretty dangerous. She's got some good power in her hands. I saw Viviane Araújo get dropped in her last fight by Natalia Silva, so maybe that could play a factor, her durability too. But either way, I think that Karine Silva is a safe pick in this fight. And I think, yeah, she's going to win by decision. I could potentially see her stopping Viviane Araújo, but Araújo is very tough. So I'm going to go with 29-28 unanimous decision victory. Then we got Bull Nickel versus Paul Craig, and I got Bull Nickel winning this fight. I think he is a better striker than Paul Craig. I feel like Paul Craig is very stiff on the feet. Like, sometimes when you see punches get thrown at him, he kind of gets like frozen. It's a very odd reaction. And he's got a lot of MMA experience. I know he comes from a jiu-jitsu background, but you think that maybe at this point he would have some better defensive reactions. But yeah, I think that Boneko, he's undefeated. He's taking his career very seriously. Obviously, he's taking a lot of time in between his fights, where, you know, he didn't really take much damage in his last fight. And even before that, I feel like he should probably try to fight like 3 times a year. Maybe fight lesser competition and get your name out there and make some more money. Kind of go the Sean O'Malley route, where you're finishing a lot of guys and at the same time you're getting experience and you're getting the attention of being on these big cards. But yeah, I think that Boneko is going to beat Paul Craig by a TKO in round 2. I think that Paul Craig's wrestling itself isn't going to be a threat to Boneko, and I think that if the fight does hit the floor, it's because Boneko initiates the grappling. But yeah, I think he's going to keep on the feet in this one and knock Paul Craig out. And I think after this fight, both should definitely get a step up in competition. Maybe he could fight a guy like, I know he just lost, but maybe a Brad Tavares, or maybe someone closer to the rankings, maybe fight a Kevin Holland, someone like that, maybe a Chris Curtis. But he should definitely get a boost in competition in his next fight, especially if he dismantles Paul Craig pretty easily. But yeah, I got Boneko winning by second round KO. And then we move on to Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler, a 5-round co-main event. And I think that Oliveira is going to beat Michael Chandler again. And I kind of feel bad for Michael Chandler because he wasted 2 years of his prime waiting for a fight that didn't happen. And he was waiting to get that big paycheck, but it just didn't happen because I'm not going to blame Conor McGregor. Because to be honest, I don't really think that it's his fault. I feel like the UFC was kind of stalling him out. But yeah, I feel like Conor was ready to fight because he did post like a date of him wanting to fight on December 16th of 2023. That didn't happen. And then International Fight Week, he even said UFC 300, but the UFC never went for him. But it is what it is. But yeah, I think Oliveira is gonna beat Michael Chandler again. I think he has gotten better. I think that Michael Chandler's time away from the octagon is gonna hurt him. He is gonna make those mistakes again, leave himself wide open, and Oliveira is going to catch him for a big shot. He drops him, and I think he's going to submit him with a front headlock. I think it's going to be maybe a guillotine or a dart stroke, but I think that Oliveira will get Michael Chandler out of there within 3 rounds. And I think that after this fight, you got to give him his title shot because that Arman Tsarukyan fight, honestly, it could have gone to Charles Oliveira. That was super close. I thought it came down to round 3. And Oliveira should have been more active, obviously. And I think he's going to learn from that and put the pressure on Chandler and try to be more decisive in his result. But I think that Oliveira is going to win and then get a title shot. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and God bless.